Myself, Dr. Anoop V, Associate Professor in the Department of Electronics and Communication Engineering, Jyoti Engineering College, Cheruturthi. In this presentation, I would like to talk about image compression. Image compression is defined as the process of reducing the amount of data needed to represent a digital image. Usually, this is done by removing the redundant data in the image. Redundant data means the data which is more than needed in order to represent that particular image, or simply we can say the particular information. The main objective of image compression is to decrease the number of bits required to store and transmit images without any measurable loss of information. Based on this principle, the image compression techniques can be broadly classified into two. First one is lossless image compression and second one is lossy image compression. As the name suggests, lossless image compression, it is an information preserving mechanism. That is, no information is lost during that compression process. While the second method, lossy compression technique, as the name suggests, some loss of data will occur if you are performing lossy compression. Image compression techniques has a wide range of applications, including tele-video conferencing, remote sensing, document and medical imaging, fax transmission, waste management application, etc. Now we will discuss about what are the need for data compression. One of the need for data compression is if data can be effectively compressed wherever possible, significant improvement in data throughput can be achieved. Another advantage is compression can reduce file sizes up to 60 to 70%, and hence many files can be combined into one compressed document, which makes sending very easy. Also, it helps to reduce consumption of expensive resources such as hard disk spaces and transmission bandwidths. Compression can fit more data in small memory and thus it reduces memory space required as well as cost of managing data. These are some of the important needs for having data compression. And I'll also like to point out some important applications of data compression other than the points I have already explained. For example, consider the case of a satellite communication system. Large amount of data storage and transmission is involved as the satellites send data all time, all day. Either we can say 24/7 into 365 days. Storing all these data and analyzing them for various purposes is possible using small memory devices and low cost. This is made possible only with the help of data compression. So this is a clear-cut example for data compression that is happening in the case of satellite communication. Also, almost all digital image processing techniques usually have to handle a large volume of data. Storing of image data needs large storage spaces and transmitting them with a wide channel capacity. These two requirements are reduced using data compression. While studying about image compression or simply data compression, an important term associated with this technique is data redundancy. Data is the one by which information is conveyed. For a given information, various types of representations may be used, and each representation will have different amount of data. In this case, some representations may have data which do not convey any useful information. Therefore, these representations are said to contain data redundancy. Or simply we can say a data that is not relevant to represent any information is called a redundant data or data redundancy. So in our actual data, there will be the actual information plus some redundant data as mentioned in the figure. So another term related to the data redundancy is relative redundancy, and it is mathematically represented by the letter RT, which is equal to 1 minus 1 by CR, where CR is the compression ratio. It is a ratio of actual image to the compressed image, N1 by N2. Mainly, we are dealing with three types of data redundancies in our image compression. The first one is coding redundancies, second one is interpixel redundancies, and third one is psychovisual redundancies. First one is coding redundancy. A code is a system of symbols used for representing an information. A code word is a sequence of symbols representing a piece of information. Thus, the code length is defined as the number of symbols in each code word. So we have three terms: code, code word, and code length. An image is said to have coding redundancy if its gray levels are coded using more code symbols than actually needed to represent each gray level. That is, in the case of a grayscale image, if we require 2 bits to represent that particular gray level, and in our coding we are getting it as 3 bits, we can say that that particular coding scheme have coding redundancies. So our aim is to represent each of the gray level with the smallest possible codes. That is one of the principles of variable length coding. The second one is interpixel redundancy. The interpixel redundancy is caused by the interpixel correlations within an image. The interpixel correlations are structural and geometric relationship between objects and the image. This particular redundancy is also known as spatial redundancy, geometric redundancy, or interframe redundancy. In order to reduce this particular redundancy, interpixel redundancies in an image is reduced by transforming the 2D pixel array into a more efficient format. For that, mappings can be employed. The third one is psychovisual redundancy. The human eye does not respond to all information with equal sensitivity, because some of the information may be given less importance when comparing to other informations. In normal visual processing, such informations are said to be psychovisually redundant. The psychovisual redundancy has the following properties. It is related with the real or quantifiable visual information, and removal of this particular redundancy will not affect the perceived image quality, while removing the other redundancies may affect the image quality. So there are three redundancies associated with an image compression. First one is coding redundancy. It is happening while we are encoding the gray level values of an image. And second one is interpixel redundancy caused by the interpixel correlations within an image, and the psychovisual redundancy is based on the properties of human eye. The coding redundancy can be avoided by choosing proper coding scheme such as variable length coding, Huffman coding, arithmetic coding, etc. Interpixel redundancies can be removed using perfect mapping sets. Now we will look into the image compression strategies. These are already explained as an introduction. We have two image compression strategies, or image compression techniques can be broadly classified into two. First one is lossy compression techniques and lossless compression techniques. So as the name suggests, lossy compression will result in a lossy image or an erroneous image, while lossless compression will give you error-free images. Another important feature is in lossy compression we can achieve high compression ratio, while in lossless compression the compression ratio is comparatively low. And lossy compression is an irreversible compression scheme. Once we have performed lossy compression, the actual image will not be able to recover. We will not be able to recover the actual image. But as far as lossless compression is concerned, we can recover the exact image without much errors. And in lossy compression, we require quantization techniques in encoding, and in lossless compression, we does not require such quantization techniques. Examples for lossy compression techniques are transform coding, wavelet coding, etc. And for lossless compression, LZW coding, variable length coding, Huffman coding, etc. Thank you.